if your tire goes flat on a lonely stretch of highway tonight, do not touch that aerosol can in your trunk. The multi-billion-dollar service networks are praying you make that exact mistake. Hidden away in old homestead tool chests for generations is a practical, self-reliant emergency method that seals a tread puncture in a matter of minutes, and the roadside assistance corporations spend a fortune to make sure you stay dependent on their towing bills instead of learning how to handle it yourself. My name is Jeremiah Byler. The dirt roads that carve through this county do not offer the luxury of a cell signal, and the weather does not pause to ask if you are prepared for a breakdown. In this life, true security is not a subscription service. It is the knowledge stored in your head and the rugged, time tested tools carried in your saddlebag. The modern roadside assistance networks, the overpriced synthetic patch kits at the service counter, and the tire manufacturing giants depend entirely on you feeling helpless. They have built an entire multi-billion-dollar empire around the deliberate design of disposable convenience and proprietary sealants. Their entire business model is predicated on ensuring that the second a puncture happens, you are instantly locked into a recurring cycle of exorbitant towing fees, inflated shop markups, and brand new replacements for tires that still have miles of tread left on them. They want you terrified of a simple hole in the casing. They market fear, wrapping it in the guise of modern convenience. To take back your independence, you first have to understand why commercial quick fixes fail and why so many drivers fall into the trap of buying a brand new tire for a minor puncture. When a panic stricken driver reaches for an aerosol fix a flat canister, they pump a watery, pressurized chemical latex directly into the valve stem. What the chemical companies do not advertise is the quiet frustration this chemical soup causes down the line. It coats the inner airliner in a sticky, uneven mess that ruins electronic tire pressure monitoring sensors, unbalances the wheel assembly at highway speeds, and prevents tire shops from ever applying a proper, permanent internal patch later on. It is a temporary band aid that often guarantees you will be buying a new tire by the next season change. Now, let us clear away the myths and talk about true mechanics. You will hear old legends about homesteaders melting pine rosin and beeswax into crude capsules to jam into tire breaches. While those raw resin mixtures work decently enough on low speed 19th century wooden wagon wheels or early farm implements, modern steel belted radial tires operate under vastly different laws of physics. A modern car tire carries 30 to 35 pounds per square inch of internal air pressure and reaches internal friction temperatures well above 140 degrees Fahrenheit at highway speeds. Simple beeswax melts into liquid at those temperatures, and raw pine rosin becomes brittle under continuous flexing. If you jam crude tree sap into a high-speed radial tire or allow any wax or grease to contaminate your repair heat, and air pressure will blow that plug right out of the casing, creating a sudden and dangerous loss of control. True self-reliance requires respecting physics, chemistry, and safety. There's a firm boundary every driver must know. No plug on earth, whether ancient or modern, can safely repair a torn sidewall or a shredded blowout. The sidewall of a radial tire flexes continuously with every turn and bump, bearing the structural weight of your vehicle. A puncture or tear in the sidewall compromises the steel and nylon cords, making the tire a ticking time bomb that must be replaced. But when a rusted nail, a stray deck screw, or a jagged piece of field slate pierces the flat crown area of your tread where the thick rubber matrix and steel belts live, you do not need a tow truck. You need the right knowledge, proper prep tools, and a heavy-duty vulcanizing repair setup. Long before modern shops started charging astronomical prices for basic repairs, self-reliant mechanics use high-density sulfur-cured butyl rubber string plugs combined with active vulcanizing cement. This method relies on chemical vulcanization, a process where active chemical solvents soften the rubber matrix of both the tire and the plug, causing them to cross-link their polymer chains and chemically fuse into a single, permanent unit as the tire heats up from road friction. Let us walk through how to build and pack a permanent, off-grid emergency repair kit right on your workbench. One that costs less than $3 to prepare, fits cleanly into an oiled canvas roll or brass capsule case, and will save you hundreds of dollars in unnecessary service fees. To assemble this rugged kit, you do not need a laboratory. You only need a few essential, heavy-duty components sourced from any hardware or farm supply store. You will need a heavy-duty T-handle spiral reamer, which is a solid steel textured probe used to clean and score the puncture channel. You will need a T-handle split-eye insertion needle designed to force the repair plug deep into the casing steel belts. You will need high-density butyl rubber string plugs, which are thick, viscous, unvulcanized rubber cords coated in tackifying resins. You will need chemical vulcanizing cement containing active sulfur compounds that chemically fuse the raw rubber cord directly to the tire tread matrix. And finally, you will need an airtight, moisture-proof sleeve or brass capsule case to keep your unvulcanized plugs completely clean, tacky, and free from atmospheric moisture or dust until needed. The total cost to assemble a batch of 3 field-ready plug setups comes out to roughly $2.50. Compare that to a $100 tow bill or a $200 replacement tire, and the value of fundamental self-reliance becomes instantly clear. To prepare your kit on the workbench, keep your dense butyl rubber string plugs sealed in their original airtight protective film, or wrap them tightly in non-stick, oil-free parchment inside a sealed sleeve. Never allow grease, oil, or wax to touch the tacky core. Maintaining a pristine, uncontaminated rubber surface is what guarantees the vulcanizing cement forms a perfect chemical bond when deployed in the field. When a nail or a screw strikes your tread on a deserted back road, field execution requires methodical preparation. First, locate the foreign object in the tread. Before pulling the nail out, use a tire pressure gauge or bicycle pump to ensure you have enough control over the remaining air. Once you extract the nail with pliers, immediately insert your heavy-duty steel T-handle spiral reamer directly into the puncture hole. Do not be gentle with this step. Push and twist the steel reamer up and down through the tread at the exact angle the nail entered. This aggressively clears away trapped dirt, smooths out jagged steel belt wires, and roughens the internal rubber walls. That rough texture is critical. It creates maximum surface area for the chemical cement to bite into. Next, take one of your dense butyl rubber string plugs from its protective casing and thread it halfway through the eye of your insertion needle. Apply a generous coat of chemical vulcanizing cement directly along the body of the string plug and over the tip of the insertion tool. Now, drive the split-eye needle straight into the prepped puncture channel, pushing firmly until about 1/2 inch of the rubber plug ends remains visible above the tread surface. Do not twist the tool on the way in. Once seated at depth, pull the T-handle needle straight out with a smooth, firm stroke. The split eye of the steel needle will slide free, leaving the dense rubber plug locked deep inside the steel belts of the tire. Do not wait hours for it to set. The road itself will complete the bonding process. Trim any excess plug length flush with the tread blocks, using a pocket knife so it does not catch on road debris. As you drive your vehicle at a steady, low speed for the first mile, the continuous flexing of the tread and the rapid buildup of internal friction heat will activate the vulcanizing cement. The raw butyl core chemically fuses with the surrounding rubber walls of the tire casing, forming a permanent, airtight molecular seal that will easily outlast the remaining tread life of the tire itself. Now, if you want to protect your tires from ever dry rotting, cracking, or degrading in the sun in the first place, you must look at how modern tire rubber actually reacts to environmental weathering. Modern rubber sidewalls dry out and form microscopic surface cracks because atmospheric ozone and ultraviolet rays attack the polymer chains near the surface. The commercial market responds by pushing expensive, Silicone-based tire shines every single month products that contain harsh petroleum distillates that temporarily look shiny but actually strip away the tire's natural protective anti-ozonants over time, accelerating dry rot once the spray washes off in the rain. The old world, chemically sound method to preserve rubber sidewalls is far simpler, cheaper, and fundamentally protective. Instead of harsh chemical solvents or raw turpentine, which actively dissolves and breaks down synthetic rubber polymers, you use a pure, non solvent natural barrier. Take a clean, heavy cotton cloth and apply a light coat of pure, rendered lanolin or pure USP grade vegetable glycerin. Rub this rich compound sparingly onto the clean sidewalls of your tires twice a year, taking care to keep it strictly off the driving tread, preferably on a warm afternoon when the rubber pores are relaxed. The science behind this is straightforward and time tested. Pure aniline and glycerin create a hydrophobic, non-polar moisture barrier over the outer casing. They seal out road salt brine, repel standing water, and block atmospheric ozone from breaking the chemical bonds of the rubber matrixol without dissolving the underlying polymers or stripping the tire's built-in anti-ozonant compounds. It keeps the sidewalls supple, deeply hydrated, and completely impervious to premature weather checking. The stakes here go far beyond the mere inconvenience of a flat tire on a rainy Tuesday night. This is about a fundamental shift in how we approach the machinery that runs our daily lives. When we surrender our basic mechanical understanding to corporate service networks, subscription apps, and dealership waiting rooms, we trade our personal independence for a very expensive illusion of convenience. We hand over hard earned money for simple mechanical problems we are fully capable of solving with our own two hands, the right tools, and a basic understanding of physical laws. The commercial alternative relies heavily on engineered fragility, planned obsolescence, and the cultivation of consumer fear. The self reliant way relies on practical tools you can assemble yourself, store securely in a small wooden box by the workbench, and deploy with confidence wherever the road takes you. Take back your independence before your next long drive. Gather a heavy duty steel reamer, a split eye insertion needle, a pack of high density butyl rubber string plugs, and a small tube of vulcanizing cement. Store them neatly wrapped in an airtight casing inside your vehicle. Know the difference between a simple tread puncture you can fix in minutes and a compromised sidewall that demands a tire change. When you carry the right tools and the practical knowledge to use them, you will never find yourself stranded, helpless, or forced to pay an inflated tow bill on a dark stretch of highway.